I'm Noah from American Trucks, and we're checking out this MBRP Armor Black dual exhaust system with a middle side exit race version for the 21 and newer 5-liter F-150, excluding the Tremor. Now, if you're looking to ditch the stock exhaust for an affordable system that has a really aggressive and performance-oriented sound to it, then this system from MBRP is going to be a great one for you. Factory exhausts are restrictive and they limit airflow out of the motor. And one of the easiest ways to get a happier motor is to install a free-flowing system that doesn't have a million mufflers and resonators. Now, this system is straight through and it only has one muffler, so you're going to get a lot more noise out of this as well. Now, this exhaust exits on the passenger side right in front of the rear wheel, so you're going to hear a lot more noise in the cab than you would with a rear exit that would leave the sound behind the truck as you drove away. Now, MBRP says that with this system, you can expect to feel a jump in horsepower and torque as well. As far as construction goes, this system is made from 2.5 mandrel bent aluminized steel piping, which means the piping is not only free-flowing and smooth around the bends, but it's going to be resistant to corrosion and rust. Now, the muffler here is a high-flow muffler, which means air can move freely right through the chamber, and it'll silence some of the noise and take the edge off, even though it's pretty much just straight through. Now, air is able to pass through the core and get silenced by the packing around the edges of the canister. Then, onto the rear. The exhaust tips are black. This system exits right in front of the rear wheel on the passenger side. And one last thing to note is that the rear section from the muffler to the tips is coated black as well. And I have to say it's one of the best feeling, most durable feeling black coatings I've actually personally seen. And that's just for another added layer of protection against the elements. Coming in around $770, this system from MBRP is a bit more expensive than a lot of the other aluminized steel systems. Now, MBRP has stupendous build quality though, and really what you're paying for is the research and design that went into this system. Now, I always say you get what you pay for, and that's very true in this case. Now, a system like this is still much more affordable than a stainless system, so if you're looking for a high-end exhaust that doesn't break the bank, this is definitely going to be it. You're looking at an install difficulty of 2 out of 3 wrenches, and it's only going to take you about 2 hours to get the job done. Now, everything you need for the install is included with the kit, so it shouldn't be too much trouble for you at all. Now, next I'm going to hand you over to one of the guys in the shop, and they're going to walk you through that install process step by step.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, a ratchet, an exhaust hanger remover tool, a 13mm ratcheting wrench, a 15mm wrench, an 8mm Allen wrench, an extension, a 10, 13, 15, and 17mm sockets. What's up, guys? Today we're installing an exhaust on our F-150. First, we're gonna watch a short little uninstall video for how to remove the stock exhaust, and then I'll meet you right back here for the install.
Start by grabbing your 13mm socket and undoing the 2 bolts at the flange. Next, take your exhaust hanger removal tool and get the muffler out of the isolator. Next, we're going to slide our exhaust towards the tail end so we can get them out of the 2 additional hangers, and then we're going to drop the whole exhaust as a full. I grabbed a buddy to help me out with that.
So our first step is to install our front pipe. Now, depending on your wheelbase and your bed length, you may have to cut this pipe or you can use it at the full length. There's also an extension pipe that, depending on those same circumstances, you might use or not use and cut or not cut. Since we have the 145-inch wheelbase with the 5.5-foot bed, we don't have to cut our front pipe and we won't be using an extension pipe. So now I've got a pole jack here just to support the weight of the exhaust as we build it. So we'll raise our front pipe up into place. And then we're gonna be reusing our factory hardware here. If you have factory hardware, that'll be that 13mm bolt. Now, if you have your factory hardware, that's gonna be a 13mm bolt. But since our hardware has been replaced, we have a 17mm bolt with a 15mm nut on the backside. So now if you're using your factory hardware, you can tighten this down with a 13mm socket. Since ours was replaced, we'll grab a 17mm socket and a 15mm wrench to tighten ours down. Next, we can install our muffler. So we'll take one of our 3-inch clamps and slide that over the edge. And then we can slide our muffler inlet into our front pipe. And then we'll slide our clamp into place and tighten that down with a 15mm socket. Next, we can install our hanger bracket. So we're right above the front mount for the leaf spring on the passenger side. So we're gonna slide our U-clips through these square holes and over the circles. And then we can grab our hanger and thread in our bolts with the flat washers. And then we can grab a 13mm socket to tighten these down. And for the top, I'm just gonna get a 13mm ratcheting wrench. Tighten this up as much as we can by hand. Next, we can install our bottom tailpipe. This is gonna be the one with the 2 hangers. So we'll slide one of our clamps over the end. We're gonna slide the hanger into our isolator first, and then into our muffler outlet. And now for our upper tailpipe, we'll take another one of our clamps and then slide that into our muffler outlet. Now on these tabs right here, this one that goes into our upper muffler outlet is gonna get a U-clip. And then we'll raise it up. We're gonna pinch our 2 tabs together. Now once we have our U-clip installed on our lower pipe, we can raise these up together, pinch them together, and install our 13mm bolt with a flat washer. And then we'll take a 13mm socket to tighten that bolt down. And then we can install our rod onto our hanger with a rubber isolator. And now we can slide our isolator onto the hanger that we previously installed. And now we can come back to our muffler outlet and tighten down both of our clamps. So we'll slide those into place and then grab a 15mm socket to tighten them down. Now lastly, we can install our two tips. So we're going to start with the rearmost pipe first, just so that we're able to tighten this down. Now you can adjust these to have as much or as little poke as you'd like. We're going to put these right about there, and then we'll take an 8mm Allen wrench to tighten down our bolt. And then we can slide our second tip on there. And we'll do that same thing to tighten that one down. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the MBRP Armor Black Dual Exhaust System with middle side exit race version for your 2021 and newer 5.0 liter F-150, excluding the Tremor. Thank you for watching, and for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.